When I got out of the Marine Corps, I had about $4,000 saved up. Don't get me wrong, $4,000, it's a good amount for anybody to have. Today, I am
Yeah.
a millionaire from owning real estate. I took 4 grand and made it into over 1 million. I absolutely firmly believe in real estate. There's no other platform that I can think of where I can transform that, unless I'm like an amazing business owner or creator, something like that. But if I'm an average, regular person, real estate will change your life.
Hi, this is Pam Flitton with Remax Find Properties and Beyond the Listing podcast. I'm here today with Andrew Postell, a ex-United States Marine veteran of 25 years who works as a real estate investor and has an expertise in the BRRRR strategy. He is a loan officer and the top 1% in the whole United States. So, Andrew, welcome to Beyond the Listing. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Pam, thanks so much for even having me on. It's such a terrific honor for me to be here. And it's great to have a Texas connection. I'm so thankful that we're both in the great state of Texas and that we're doing real estate here. I am a advocate
Yeah.
for people owning homes. Real estate has changed my life. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I had about $4,000 saved up. Don't get me wrong, $4,000, it's a good amount for anybody to have. Today, I
Yeah.
am a millionaire from owning real estate. I took 4 grand and made it into over 1 million. I absolutely firmly believe in real estate. There's no other platform that I can think of where I can transform that, unless I'm like an amazing business owner or creator, something like that. But if I'm an average, regular person, real estate will change your life.
I say that all the time that it's the best way to build your wealth. One step at a time, best way to build your wealth is to own real estate.
Yeah. It's kind of frustrating how difficult it is to buy a home right now. But if you can do it,
Mhm.
I promise in 5 years, you're going to be so thankful that you did it. It's not
And
getting
it,
any
and you can
easier.
start off. Yeah. And you can start off with just, one, build up, buy, sell, or buy, keep, sell, buy, keep, sell. Depends on what your strategy is. But tell us a little bit about how you did it.
Yeah, so my example in my life was my uncle. So when I was a kid, we moved around many, many different times, Pam, like too many times, maybe even
Uh,
like 18 times by the time I was 18. Every time that we sold a home, my father would sell the home to buy the next home. And there's nothing wrong with that. That was, this was the 70s and 80s, so maybe there wasn't any other design plan out there. But my uncle, who moved around also quite a bit, he kept every single one of his homes as he moved. Now, when you're a child, there's no difference in families. You don't recognize these things. But as I got older, I was like, hey, wait a minute. My uncle has a little bit different life than we do. He retired with 7 homes, 7 homes, and he's very fine. And don't get me wrong, my parents, they're fine too. But my uncle is
Mhm.
significantly better off because he put his money into real estate. So I started off
Sure.
buying a home with a first time home buyer program. And my home was $1,000 cinder block home. That's all I could afford. But from that one little first time home buyer program home, I transformed it into millions of dollars of real estate.
That's awesome. And you started off with that $4,000 investment.
Yep, that's it.
So what type of a loan did you get with that first $4,000?
Yeah. So this is what I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. I was not a loan officer then. This is my first home. I didn't know anything. It was a little crazy looking back on it, Pam. Nobody told me anything. I did not even use a VA loan. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Nobody, I don't know if they didn't know how to tell me or what the schedule was, but I just went into it completely blind. I did get a grant program. I had a 30-year fixed rate conventional loan, and the interest rate was below the market rate. And it was with very little out of pocket, no down payment, and they just required me to pay for a small amount of closing costs, which is where my $4,000 went to. It was a tough neighborhood. That's why the first time program existed. So even though it might not be an ideal home, I mean, 50,000, what do you think? My neighbors were responsible. They were friendly. I don't regret ever living there. Owning that first home, I no longer rented. I didn't pay anybody else the money. I paid me. And that's what kind of loan I used. I just used a regular old conventional 30-year loan with that down payment program.
Well, great. So then what did you do after that?
So after, okay. All right, this is when I'm out of the Marines. Okay. I was in college.
Yeah.
What I did was I rented out the rooms to my friends. So I had
Oh,
a rule
great. Great
where,
idea.
yeah, I mean, did I screen anybody? No, but I knew them, you know. Did anybody miss rent? No, they never did. Everybody, but the reason why everybody was so for renting from me is I had a 3-bedroom home. I had the first person
Right.
pay for half the mortgage, and I had the other person pay for half the mortgage. So they got a
Sure.
really inexpensive place to rent. They didn't want to miss a payment or upset me, and I got to live rent free. Today, if you were to Google
How
this,
old were you at this time, Andrew?
23,
How old were you at this time? 23.
20
Okay.
old.
Buy your first home, 23 years old.
Mhm.
Went it to your college friends. Gotcha. And they're paying the rent for you.
Yep.
Brilliant.
We call it house hacking today. If you Google house hacking, that's what I was doing, but there
Hmm.
just wasn't a term for it. But that's what people call it today.
Yeah. Fantastic. How long did you
From
keep
there,
that
like,
house?
yeah, oh, I kept it for like 6 years or so. 6 years. So I
Yeah.
graduated from college, moved to New York City, and then rented it while I was in New York City. So I was an out of state real estate investor. But when I sold it,
Mhm.
what was interesting at the time, I sold it to a friend of mine who did a cash out purchase on the home. He told me, Andrew, what do you want to sell the home for? I said, I think I want to sell it for like 75,000. He goes, I'll buy it from you for 83 as long as I can get back 8 grand at closing. So at the time, they don't allow any of this
Okay.
anymore. At the time, there was some really different lending rules that got some people into trouble, but my friend showed me how to leverage a property even when you purchase. So it was strange that he got a cash out purchase when he bought the property from me. But from there, I took
Sure.
4 grand and now I had what? 30 grand? Pretty close to it just from owning a home for about 6 years. And remember, I wasn't paying the mortgage. My tenants, my friends were paying the mortgage. It taught me a lot that first home.
Great. So now that's something that can't be done anymore.
Well, you can still buy
The
your home
cash
and rent it
out.
out to your friends. Yeah, the
No,
cash
the
out
cash
purchase
out.
thing
I'm so
was,
sorry. No.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then you bought another home.
Not for a while. So I lived in New York City at this stage. So in New York City,
Uh-huh.
couldn't really afford anything in New York City. You know, it's New York City.
That's what
Everything's
I heard.
crazy.
Yeah.
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 But I did have a chance to invest in Jacksonville, Florida, and I bought a home in Jacksonville, Florida for $7,000. Again, these are tough neighborhoods, but I
Uh-huh.
bought a home. I bought another home for 20,000, and then I actually moved to Jacksonville, Florida, and bought a third home. So now I have 3 homes from that one little home that I purchased while I was in college. So while I
Well,
was in
that's
New York
amazing.
City, I rented out the little home in College Town for a little bit, then sold it to my friend,
Hmm.
bought some more homes, then moved to that town. I'm on my way. Real estate. I made it work. It was
Great.
different, but it still worked.
That's terrific. So now, how does that work? So how long ago was this?
Okay, so this would have been about '08, '09, '10. I lived in Jacksonville, Florida
All
for a
right.
few years.
You rented those out, let them pay for themselves, and then did you cash out on those?
So, okay, the smaller homes, the ones that were in the tough neighborhoods, the 7 grand, 20 grand homes, I did rent them for a
Yeah.
while, but they were only worth 30,000 anyway. They weren't worth that
Yeah.
much. So whenever I did sell them, I sold them on an owner financed note. So I got a down payment
Yeah.
from the person
Okay.
who bought them. And then instead of renting them, I made money off of the mortgage that I gave to the other people who purchased those homes.
Sure. Okay.
One of the homes, I did move there too. So I lived in one of the homes that I owned in Jacksonville, Florida. And that home I bought in '08. And if you can think about
Uh-huh.
2008, I don't know, it might have been like one of the worst years to ever buy a home, but I still bought that
Yes.
home and I kept it for 15 years. I had that home.
Sure. I did real estate in 2008. It was not some great years then, but um it was still real estate going on for sure.
Yep. And I don't regret buying any of those homes. They all taught me lessons. I still made money on them. And even that one home that I bought in '08, I mean, why did I buy a home in '08? We don't know the future. That home went down in value so much, but I kept it for 15 years.
Well, if you can buy real estate in a down economy and you can buy it at a good price, that's where a lot of people make really good money on real estate when you're buying it that low, because at a later time it's going to go that much higher. So
Yep.
in a down economy, you'll make your money back for sure.
Just got to hold on to the property. Just hang on to it. Don't
But
panic.
just gotta hold on.
Just
Yep.
hang on. It will forgive you. Real estate will forgive you.
Real estate is a long-term investment for sure. Okay. So fantastic. So you've been buying, holding, and then selling, correct?
I've sold some of them, right? So and I would say like I upgraded the properties. Maybe that's the right way to say it. So I don't own any
Uh-huh.
$30,000 homes anymore. But at the time, that's all I could do, you know? So through the years, I have absolutely looked at properties that didn't perform how I wanted them to perform and sold them and moved the money to a higher performing asset class. So just like any
Yeah.
business that you run, you analyze where you're making money, you look at where profit margins might be smaller, and you adjust your game plan and put that money into higher performing places. So yes, I did sell some homes through the years in order to upgrade into better quality homes.
How do you think how do you think your uh as we kind of talked about it a little bit, how do you think the owning real estate can create long-term wealth for you, as you've seen it has created it, compared to the other assets that you've had, or can compare to other assets that anybody else could have? Because it is a long-term goal and it is a
Yeah.
long-term keep. A lot of it is.
Yeah. So here's how I would explain it, right? Should I put my money
Mhm,
into the stock market, let's say? I mean, yes, I would absolutely advocate for somebody. I mean, I can buy a stock for $5. I don't need good credit to buy a stock. I don't even need a job
mhm.
to buy to save my money. Put it into stocks. Every plan has its way for certain people. I just want people to save money as best as they can, invest it as best as they can.
Mhm.
But what real estate does, I can take a small amount of money to buy a larger valued asset. Like if I buy a $5 stock, I own a $5 stock. If it goes up to 6 or 7, wonderful. But with a house, I buy a $500,000 asset. So if it goes up 1% or 2% every year, 3%, now my money is compounding on the $500,000 asset rather than the $5
Yes.
asset. I leverage. That's what your down payment is for, right? 3% down, 5% down.
Mhm.
It's all
Yep.
you need. You buy a very large valued piece of real estate that might increase 3 to 5% on average. So your investment, your return on your investment, when you buy your primary home specifically, let's put the real estate investing aside for a moment. Primary home, it's double digit returns almost every time. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always people who panic about things, but if you look at your owning your home for about 5 years, it's the best return ROI, turn on investment that you can make using money to buy your primary home because you're buying a larger asset
Yes.
with a small amount of money.
Yeah. I have to agree with you 100%. I tell people and I encourage people all the time, this is going to be the biggest investment that you can make, and it's going to help leverage you in the future if you do it. And you should, right? Especially for
Yeah.
younger people and first-time home buyers.
And Pam, I want to bring up something too, because we're talking about a lot about investing in money. When I speak about
Mhm.
owning a primary home, don't get me wrong, it is important to understand my payments and how much I can earn and the equity that I built in it. But there's other things that happen that don't have any monetary value to it. Like what I mean is there are huge studies that they do that show people who own a home, their children have higher test scores. Their divorce rate is lower. Teen pregnancy is lower. Life expectancy is higher. None of these things have a monetary, like what's my kid's test scores worth? There's no value to that. Those are the things that are immeasurable. And the only reason why we have these big studies is this is exactly what we go to Congress to advocate for first-time home buyer grant money, or hey, help make our homes affordable. Senator, you said you wanted to have lower teen pregnancy, right? Here's the big study that shows a stable household owning a home has a lower teen pregnancy rate. Give us some money so we can get some grants out there to help people buy homes and make it easier for them to afford. That's why we know
Yeah.
these studies exist, to get the money to help people buy their first home or even second home.
That's awesome. And I don't think most people look at that. I do believe I was talking to somebody the other day, and she was like, it's my biggest dream. That's the goal that I have set for myself, is to be able to purchase a home for me and my daughter. That's my goal, is to be able to get her into a home of our own, so she'll have that stable place to always be, right? So a place of our own. And I was like, well, whatever I need to do to help get you there. So, we started goal planning and setting a budget. And it's just some of the things that you do as a realtor or as a loan officer. These are some of the things that you do for your clients or for people that you work with to help get them to that goal, for them to be able to purchase, that home or that place that they need to get them to the goals that they want. So, yeah, we were goal planning, setting the budget. What do we need to do for this?
Good. I'm rooting for her. I hope she hits all of her goals so she
Yeah.
can get that home.
Yeah, and we figure in probably about 3 years we will get there. But that's 3 years from now. We are probably going to be able to get her there, to have enough money to go, step 1, 2, and 3. So we'll be there. Yeah,
Awesome. That's great.
it's a great thing. Yeah.
And if you think about it too, like if I do live in the same home for a long period of time, I should figure out where the best doctors are and where the right grocery stores are for me. Like, this is what being a stable place creates. It creates familiarity. It creates a routine that helps have you higher mental health, longer life, higher income rates. It creates all of those things that I didn't have as a kid. Moving around all those times, man, that was really
Yeah.
tough. I can make a friend in like 30 seconds, but after like 2 months, it's difficult for me to create friendships. So that can be
Yeah.
very challenging on a young child. So if I can create a stable home environment where they feel good and have a good social network, their mental health is higher, their test scores are better. Like, it's all related. It's all related to real estate, buying real estate.
Sure. I agree with you 100%. Um, so um what are the first important steps someone should take before purchasing their first home, do you think?
Oh, okay. I might tackle this from a little bit different place, Pam. Okay. So
Yeah,
the first
absolutely.
thing, okay, thank you. I would always encourage somebody to focus on this, to look at this, create a good, positive place. I want you to be in a structured platform where you can focus on yourself and be in a
Mhm.
good place mentally. The next thing
Sure.
I might encourage you to do, right? This is the most important thing. Put aside all the bills, all the finances. I need America to be mentally healthy. If
Yeah,
you feel
for
like you're in a
sure.
good, stable place mentally and spiritually, let's look at finding a good career path for us. I talk about it a lot because it took me 9 different careers to figure out to be a loan officer. I was a
I
dishwasher
love
and I
that.
mowed yards. Yeah, I mean, all these different careers. Took me a while, but once I was here, I was like, oh, this is what job satisfaction is about. I even work for nonprofits, Pam. Nonprofits are great. You have such good job satisfaction working for a great cause. You just don't get paid anything. You can't support a family on it. It's very difficult
Sure.
to be financially
I've heard
independent
that.
in that scenario. Yeah, but it's very fulfilling. So whenever I
Yeah.
go to interview to other places, hey, how much do you guys give to charity? What's the community projects look like for the company? So if I've got good mental health, good spiritual place, a nice career, or at least something that I can see myself in for a while, now let's talk about the next step in the plan of home ownership. That's what I want people to focus on. If we can have mentally healthy Americans with good jobs, I think a lot of other things will work out just fine.
No, I actually love that, where you're not focused on the almighty dollar, right? I love the thought that you think of this and this first. I honestly believe that spirituality should be, the number one thing for sure. And then, everything else will come after that the way it should be. But I love that. And everything will take care of itself. So, is there how can buyers structure financing to make the maximum growth and flexibility?
Okay, now let's talk about buying a home. If you are interested
Okay.
in doing this, I want you to speak to your real estate agent that you know. If you don't know one, I mean, hey, we got one
Yeah.
right here, right? Pam's a great one. But if you're not in
Oh,
this
you
Austin
absolutely
market or
do.
you're, yeah, if you're in someplace else across the
I know
country, I
people.
bet you
Yeah.
Pam
I
could
know
probably
people.
connect you, right?
Yeah,
So
for
let's
sure.
speak to a real estate agent. They're there to protect you, to help guide you through the process, even how you structure your purchase contract. They are there to get you the
Yep.
best deal that you can get while protecting you at the same time. In this
Yeah. They
process,
generally care about what you do.
that's right.
Yeah.
And your real estate agent should know a very good lender for you to speak with. This is what I do for a living, but I want you to take a referral from your real estate agent because they usually have a relationship that they've worked with before, that they trust the person.
Yep.
Remember, this is finances, right? We need to work with somebody
Yep.
that we are comfortable with and that's a referral. Nothing's foolproof, but if I
Yep.
give it referred from my real estate agent, it usually starts me on the right place. They should pre-qualify me for free, meaning they
Mm.
go through my
Yep.
finances. I might fill out some paperwork and they can tell me, hey, here's your payment. Here's how much money you need. Maybe here's how we can work on your credit some. They should give you a little plan. If homeownership is right for you, they should give you a little roadmap that'll get you into that place. And it should be, I want to encourage you, free of charge. And if they do a credit check, I want it to be a soft one.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be, but I want you to think about being free and soft credit checks mean it doesn't harm me in any way to find out
Right.
the roadmap to home ownership.
Yeah, I agree. Those are all really great things that you said because I believe your realtor will have some great connections with a loan officer that they trust that will take good care of them and will have a relationship because I think that the lender and the realtor should have a really good working relationship to make sure that the buyer is taken care of, right? Because it can be a little bit of a process. And sometimes it's, to get all the balls in the air and get everything juggled just right. It can take several people to get everything taken care of just the right way it should be.
And if
Yes.
it is your
So great
first time,
advice
right?
on that.
Yeah,
What's
thank
that?
you. I was going to say, if it
Yeah.
is your first time, just be a little
Hmm.
patient. You know, it might be
Hmm.
a little daunting in the beginning, and it is a big
Yeah.
deal. It is, but just trust in the people
Hmm.
that you have with you that they are there to take care of you, and they'll see to it that you make it to the finish line.
Yeah. You want somebody that's going to make sure that they have your best interest at heart and that they are making sure that you are being taken care of the whole way through and that sometimes uh, you may want to rush through it but maybe that's not the best deal for you. Maybe you just need to uh, take it a little bit slower than what it could be. I had somebody that it took them probably about 6 months to get everything taken care of the correct way. And they wanted it done a lot faster than that, but they had a couple little things they had to smooth over and to be able to get better rates. And they didn't quite understand it. And I was like, just chill. It's fine. Let's just take it. Let's just take it the long way, and we'll get it taken better care of. And it worked out a lot better for them because I got a better rate, and they were able to go to a little bit lower of a payment, which worked out better for them. So, they were just excited about getting a house and didn't want to wait, but they did, and it was better. So
Love hearing
I've
that.
worked
Love
with
it.
them for I've worked with them for over 20 years. So
Awesome.
it's a good thing. Yeah. So I'm so glad that we believe in the same thing that, home ownership is a wonderful thing for buyers to do and for them to grow their wealth. And that I love the fact that you started buying homes at such an early age. And I know when you started buying it and when I got into real estate, homes were a lot cheaper than they are now, right? And because, everything in this economy has gone way up compared to when you got into it and I got into it. Do you have anything or any advice that you would give to, let's say, your 20-year-old self, if you were going to buy a home now, right? And you've seen the prices of the homes now, or what it would take to get into a home now, what kind of advice would you give yourself?
To trust your instinct. Okay, home ownership, it is expensive. Like if something breaks, I have to pay for it. Whenever I'm renting, I don't pay for things that break. My landlord does. Renting is cheaper in most scenarios for most people. Everything's got an exception, but I want you to trust your instincts about what's right for you. If you don't know your future and you don't know if you're going to be in this town or if you don't know if you're going to transfer across the country to another job, let's trust that instinct about should I plant roots now? I
Mhm.
almost want to encourage people to think about owning that home. If you want to own a home, I want you to own it for about 5 years. If you're not ready for that type of a commitment, trust your instinct. It'll get there eventually. But if you do
Yeah,
feel like you're in a good place, remember here, career, all that, if you feel like you're in a good place, let's explore it. Okay. I'm not asking for a commitment. Let's just find out some information and see if it is something that I want to do with. And if you say no,
yeah,
Andrew will never give you any pressure. That's not what this is. This is not a salesy thing. This is something that you have
yeah.
to feel about. Home ownership, you're going to walk into your home. It's a weird feeling when it's yours. Like, this is mine. Wow. So trust your instincts, take it nice and slow. You'll make the right decision.
I love that. I love the vibe you have, Andrew. That's cool. So I know we were talking earlier, and one of the last things I really want to get into, tell me what the BRRRR strategy is.
Okay, so this is the foreign language that us real estate investors speak. I'll say some things here and you can just Google these. So like sub two,
Yeah.
loan
Yeah.
assumptions, wholesaling, and the BRRRR method. And there's lots of other words that we use as real estate investors. These are all techniques, advanced techniques that we use to purchase homes in a different place. Remember, these are advanced things. We can speak on them for like
Hmm.
8 hours, each one of these techniques. So in this scenario, if you like to just Google some of those terms, you can, but don't pay for any sites or anything like that. Keep it nice and simple and make sure you're safe. But these solve for X, and X being, I don't have any money. So if I were to buy a regular real estate rental property from Andrew as a loan officer, Andrew would tell you, hey man, you need 20 or 25% down. That's a lot different than your primary home where I might need 3 or 5% down. 20 or 25, that's like 50, 70. And who's got that much money just laying it around? I mean, some people do, but us regular people
Yeah.
don't. So what the BRRRR method does, it solves for X, and X is I don't have 20 or 25% down. It's an advanced technique where I find off-market properties. I don't use PAM, which means I'm not protected. Ooh, that's a little nervous, right? Pam's whole, if you work with
Yes,
Pam,
sure.
you will see. She will protect you through the process. If you don't have her,
Yep.
there's a lot of different risk. But for me at the time, that's why I started on small homes. I knew I
Hmm.
didn't know anything. And so I didn't know anything. My mistakes would be small if I bought small homes. That was my reasoning.
Yep.
Now, we're in the information age now. I can Google things, I can kind of research, I can get some information. Andrew didn't have that. This was not around 20 something years ago. But the
Sure.
BRRRR method absolutely helps us get off market properties at a great price so they can own rentals at a lower out of pocket cost. That's the whole point of it.
Gotcha. 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 Well, that's wonderful. Okay.
BRRRR.
So these are things they can look up. So Andrew, if somebody wanted to look you up, you have a website that they could go to, and tell me what that website is.
It's going to be even simpler, Pam. Just Google me, Andrew Postell, Postell. I'm on the Instagram, I'm
Mhm.
on the Facebook, I'm on the TikTok, I'm on the YouTube. If you do follow me on social,
So you make
yeah,
TikToks?
I do. Now, it's the
I love
same
that.
videos that I put on the Insta and the Facebook. Okay, so my wife told me like, why aren't you on TikTok? And I'm like, well, that's not really what most people look for. And she's like, you already have the videos made, just put it on there anyway. Like, all right,
Just put
sure.
it
So
on
I've
there.
actually had some that I have like over 100,000 views on them. So I guess I'm doing something okay. But
Well, it'll be
I'm gonna close with a love
101,000.
promise.
It'll be 101. I'll take a look at it. And so just so people will know, your website is www.rate.com/Andrew Postell, Postell. And then your Facebook is Andrew Postell, or Andrew.Postell. Instagram is Drew P4VP. And then LinkedIn is Andrew Postell. Your YouTube channel is at Andrew Postell 8756. So if you'd like to find out more about Andrew, give him any of these, where to find Andrew's at, just check him out. Just otherwise Google him, Andrew Postell. He's truly fascinating. I love that he thinks with the head and the heart, and everything will follow. I love that a lot. And look for his YouTube and check him out on TikTok. I love that. I'm a TikToker myself. I love to spend wasteless hours checking it out. So, anyways, Andrew, it's been a pleasure. Would love to have you come on again, and maybe we can find some other stuff to check out, and maybe you can bring your dogs on next time, and or Teresa. That would be a great conversation.
That would be Pam. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it so much.
There's always more happening beyond the listing. Stick around and catch the next episode for real talk and insights that help you move smarter and farther in real estate.